This is on the books. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive headfirst into the wacky world of American law. Get this, in the great state of state name, it's illegal to state the strange law. You heard me right. This isn't some dusty old law from colonial times, this is happening right now in the 21st century. Now you might be thinking, John, you're pulling my leg. No way that's a real law. But trust me, my friends, truth is often stranger than fiction, especially when it comes to the legal system. We did our research, checked the books, or, the internet, and this thing is legit. And before you think this is just some isolated incident, let me tell you, America is a veritable buffet of bizarre laws. From coast to coast, every state has its own share of head-scratching legislation. We're talking laws about everything from the mundane, like how you can't eat fried chicken with a knife and fork in state name, to the truly outlandish, apparently in state name it's illegal to impersonate a clergyman. It's enough to make you wonder what those lawmakers were thinking. So, how did we end up with this smorgasbord of strange laws? Well, buckle up because it's history time. A lot of these laws are holdovers from a bygone era, relics of a simpler time when life moved at a slower pace and people worried about things like, mention a few outdated concerns related to the law. Back in the day, these laws probably made perfect sense. I mean, who needs a law against state a seemingly unnecessary part of the law when everyone's too busy, state a common activity from that time period, to even consider it. But fast forward to today, and these laws just seem downright silly. Take for example the law against state the strange law again. It likely dates back to, state a possible time period, when, explain the historical context that might have led to the law. Back then, explain why the law might have been necessary or logical in the past, but nowadays, not so much. Seriously, we need answers. Now, you might be thinking, okay John, old laws changing times, we get it, but why haven't these laws been repealed? And that, my friends, is the million-dollar question. Some argue that these laws are harmless and should be left on the books as a quirky reminder of our past. Others say that they're a waste of time and resources, clogging up the legal system with unnecessary regulations. The truth is, getting rid of outdated laws is harder than you might think. It requires time, money, and political will, all of which are in short supply these days. Plus, let's be honest, politicians have bigger fish to fry than worrying about whether or not it's legal to state another strange part of the law in state name. But hey, maybe that's part of the charm of these weird laws. They remind us that even in a country as big and powerful as America, there's still room for a little absurdity. They're a testament to the fact that human beings are, well, human, capable of both great wisdom and utter ridiculousness. Section 4. Strange stories from the courtroom. Maybe. Now, you'd think with laws this strange, there'd be some even stranger court cases to match. And you'd be right. While it's tough to track down every single instance of these laws being enforced, because, really, who's keeping track? We managed to dig up some anecdotal evidence that suggests that, yes, these laws do occasionally rear their bizarre heads. For example, legend has it that back in, let's say the early 20th century, a man in Ohio was actually ticketed for walking his duck without a leash. Now, we haven't been able to verify this story independently, and honestly, it sounds too crazy to be true. But hey, stranger things have happened. Then there's the case of the barber in Kentucky who was threatened with legal action for singing while cutting hair. Again, the details are murky, but the story goes that a customer complained about the singing, and the barber was cited under an old, obscure law. Whether these stories are true or not is almost beside the point. They highlight the fact that these laws, however ridiculous, are still on the books and could, theoretically, be used against someone. Section 5. People actually talk about this? Believe it or not, these weird laws aren't just fodder for late-night talk show hosts like myself. They've actually sparked some genuine debate and discussion with folks on both sides of the aisle weighing in on their merits, or lack thereof. Some argue that these laws are a harmless form of local culture, a way for communities to express their unique identities and poke a little fun at themselves. They see them as a reminder that not everything has to be so serious all the time, that there's still room for a little whimsy in the world. Others, however, view these laws as a symptom of a larger problem, legislative bloat. They argue that our legal system is bogged down by outdated and unnecessary laws, and that these bizarre statutes are a prime example of why we need to take a long, hard look at what's on the books and start trimming the fat. Section 6. So, is it dumb or kind of brilliant? So, where do we land on this whole weird law thing? Are they harmless relics of the past or a sign that our legal system is in dire need of a makeover? Honestly, it's probably a little bit of both. On the one hand, it's easy to see the humor in these laws. They're a reminder that even in a country as large and powerful as the United States, there's still room for a little absurdity. They make us question our assumptions about what's normal and what's not, and they remind us that the world is a pretty strange and wonderful place. On the other hand, these laws also highlight some very real issues with our legal system. They show how difficult it can be to get rid of outdated laws, even when they no longer serve any practical purpose. And they raise important questions about the role of law in society and the balance between tradition and progress. Section 7. America, you never cease to amaze and confuse. In the end, these weird laws are a microcosm of America itself, a melting pot of contradictions, a place where the old and the new constantly collide. They're a reminder that the United States is a country with a rich and often messy history, and that its legal system is no exception. So, the next time you're feeling down about the state of the world, just remember, at least we don't live in a country where it's illegal to whistle underwater, or do we? Because let's be honest, with America you never really know what's lurking in the legal shadows. Until next time, stay weird, America!